is a lot of philosophical questions which has been argued and debated with a lot of people. One of the big questions is, has mankind been exploiting nature relentlessly for selfish reasons? The question everyone asking is, are we human born with our selfishness naturally? The answer is yes. Based on some scientific research, we are born selfish. Selfish is not always bad for us. Being selfish makes us get what we want. In fact, selfish can make human good and evolve until now. Although selfish is good for us, but when we have too much selfishness, what will happen? The selfishness will kill us back. It will attack us. And now, our question is, are we selfish to our own nature and environment? I believe that nowadays, humans are being too selfish to their nature. Humans has been exploiting the natural resources to fulfill their own wants and their own advantages. While nature provides resources for man, but the thing is that humans should have responsibilities to take care of the nature. Nowadays, humans just exploiting the natural resources without any considering the issues of sustainability. They use the nature to fulfill their own desires and wants. They take the opportunities from the nature without paying back for it. Samarinda in Kalimantan, Indonesia, is known for its beautiful forest, orangutans, and its exotic birds. But it's only 30 years ago. Nowadays, 70% of Samarinda's area lost its forest. Why is this happened? Of course, this is because of the human irresponsible actions which built coal mine to exploit the coal for their own purpose, such as electricity, or even they sell it to the other country to get money. Finally, in 2013, Samarinda had exhausted all coal because they exploited the mine without any rehabilitative actions. This caused many disasters to the environment there. Komari, one of the farmers there, said that he had planted his rice field on the polluted and toxic water, which is caused of the coal mine. Local villagers there, Udin, which has been there for 40 years, also mentions about the changes of his village from time to time that affected by the coal mine. 1,400 animals and 1,500 plant species were lost. As a result, 10 people, including 7 children, that fell into a big hole of the coal mining. In fact, human has exploited the nature 30% more than the earth could replenish each year. This led to the loss of 4.5 trillion ecological debt every year. Sir David King said that he had removed the planet's biodiverse resources faster than the last world's great extinctions. Sometimes, we did it all for our own opportunities to fulfill our wants and needs, but we did it with irresponsible actions to the nature. Humans ignore the harmful effect they cause to the nature. They just care about themselves. This led to the environmental pollutions. In fact, nature had given their drawbacks to the human. Yes, that is global warming. As all we know, global warming had become one of our biggest problems since the middle of 20th century. In fact, since 17th century, global warming had begun. The planet started to warm up. Based on NASA predictions, since 20 until 21st century, there will be a rise of the planet's surface temperature from 0.3 degrees Celsius to 1.8 degrees Celsius in the lowest emission scenario. But in fact, nowadays the increase of the Earth temperature is further up to 2.4 degrees Celsius. Human is the main climate drivers. This means that the human is the main problem of the environmental pollutions. We prefer to use our own car even we can still use our public transportations. This is because of their selfishness to have comfort for themselves without considering the effect to nature. For example, almost every day we go to school. When we use bus to go to school, the pollution which produced by the bus is given by all of the passengers. With one bus, we'll have a lot of people. But when we use our own cars, it will give more pollution because you are the only passengers in that car. Well, although we know that it will give less pollution when we use public transport, but we still use our own cars to go somewhere else. This is because we want comfort. We think that it will be faster and not tiring for us. This is because of our own selfishness. One of the global warming problem is greenhouse effect, which is caused by human itself. They use the air conditioning excessively. Air conditioning system produces chlorofluorocarbons or CFC, which is bad for our atmosphere. CFC also produced when we are using aerosol perfume. In fact, CFC takes 12 to 20 years to break down, while it breaks the ozone layers. CFC had caused 80% of the stratospheric ozone depletions. Even cattle farming also one of the global warming causes. The dirt from the cattle, especially cows, contains methane, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide, which are harmful for our atmosphere. In fact, methane is 23 times more harmful for our atmosphere and ozone layers than the carbon dioxide gases. The farmer should process and convert the dirt into the biogases, which can be very useful for us. But in reality, they never do it. There is a lot of effort needed to make the biogases. The farmer just threw it away, which has caused the carbon dioxide gases and the methane released into the air. Besides that, a lot of forests had gone because of the trees had taken by man for our needs, in which trees convert the carbon dioxide to oxygen. This caused the carbon dioxide gases exceed the limitation up to 458 ppm in 2017. Based on our research, the deforestation had caused 20% of the global carbon dioxide emissions. Even human basic activities such as breathing and digesting food produce carbon dioxide. The 85% of worldwide electricity was generated by the coal burning plants, which produce twice as much of the carbon dioxide gases as petroleum. The carbon dioxide gases in this planet had increased because of the human irresponsible actions, which have caused the increase of carbon dioxide up to 148% in 1750. The sea levels had rose for an average of 1.8 mm per year during the 20th century. They ignored the harmful pollutions that they made and released to the nature. Because of their selfishness to fulfill their wants, they just want luxury and comfort for a short period of time. Sometimes, humans do not think about the nature and their life in the future if the nature had been destroyed by themselves. Man has exploited nature by domesticating animals for personal profit and entertainment. In fact, this had led to animals abuses in some cases. Although nowadays, we have many ways to entertain ourselves, but some people still use the animals for their entertainment. There is no problem with it, as long as they can take care of them. But nowadays, Many people just want the opportunities from them, but do not want to take care of them. As you know, there are a lot of cruelties in the zoo. In fact, there are 486 animals died in Cambrian Zoo between December 2013 until September 2016, which were caused by too much contact between the animals and the human. And this led to the contact incidents. Andreas Kaufmann, the zoo's animal director, mentioned that the animals' death were caused of human contacts with the animals, and the animals got traumatic and got many diseases, such as chlamydia diseases, which had killed all of the peacocks in Cambrian Zoo. The animals had too many interaction and contacts with the human, which animals should be free in the nature. Despite of 500 animals killed, the Cambrian Zoo still open until now. Even they replaced their animals with the new animals which they took from the wild nature, or they move or buy some animals from the other zoo. They get a new license from the government, because the government also get advantages of tax and other revenues from that zoo. In fact, the head of Scorpion Marisan Gucciano Association mentioned that 90% of Indonesian zoo are doing the animals abuses. Over the years, the animals' death around the world had increased by 46%. A lot of zoos had lost half of its population, such as Egypt Zoo, which lost its roga because it hung on a wire. 3 bears killed because of the sedated by the zookeepers, and monkeys were hit by a visitors until it died. In Calgary Zoo, 7 penguins drowned and more than 200 fish died because of the poor quality, which caused by the visitor waste polluted the water. In Atlanta Zoo, an elephant died after being sold to a small circus, and a bison died because of the toxic stomach, which caused by the visitor feed them irresponsibly. Nowadays, zoo has become one of the worst places for the animals in the world. A lot of animals suffering in the zoo, and every year, the death of the animals in the zoo keep increasing. Besides the cruelties in the zoo, sometimes we want to have a pet for our entertainment. There is no problem with it if we take care of them. But the problem is that when we take the animals from the wild nature, they lose their natural habitat. They lose their family. They lose their natural behaviors. Sometimes we also take them because their natural habitat has been destroyed. That is true. But we need to be responsible of them. We need to take care of them. In Yulin, Guangxi, China, there is a dog meat eating festival. This issue has been criticized by a lot of people. This festival has begun since 4,000 over years in China. Since 2009, it consumed 10,000 up to 15,000 dogs every year. In this festival, the dogs' rights were gone. They paraded the dog in the metal cage or wooden cage before they skinned and cooked them for the people consumptions. All these festivals are meant for their traditions. But what is the meaning of traditions when it causes a lot of animals abuses and a lot of problems to our nature? It will lose its meaning as a tradition. Although we know that it is cruel to keep animals, but sometimes we keep the animals and did many cruelties to the animals. This is because of human selfishness to the animals and nature. They just care about their own desire to watch the animals, eat them, take them from the nature for their own entertainment and for their own opportunities. In fact, humans just want the opportunities from the nature. They ignore all the harmful effects that they have made to the nature. Human is selfish to the nature. However, what we plant is what we will harvest. If we destroy the nature, nature will give its job back to the human populations. We will get the same effects from our actions to the nature. As William Edward Gladstone stated, selfishness is the greatest curse of human race, and selfish people end up having only themselves. As humans who need the nature, we need to maintain, take care, and protect our nature. Nature and human have a strong interaction which should not be broken down only because of the human selfishness to the nature. Let's protect and be responsible of our nature.